Hola, estudiantes, ¿cómo están? Today, I want to talk to you using some of the vocabulary that you learn in this chapter. You will hear me talking about my studies. Even though they are now part of my past, I'm going to narrate the story using the present tense. So let's start. Hola, mi nombre es Silvia Vázquez. Yo soy de Madrid, la capital de España. Estudio en la Universidad de Madrid. Mi especialidad es la comunicación y las lenguas. Este semestre, mi clase favorita es la clase de literatura. Mi profesora es muy simpática e inteligente. También tomo clases de matemáticas e inglés. La clase de inglés es un poco difícil, pero es muy interesante. Puedo hablar una lengua extranjera. Normalmente estudio en la biblioteca. La biblioteca está al lado de la cafetería y a la izquierda de la librería. Cuando necesito descansar, tomo un café en la cafetería con mis compañeros de clase. Hoy estoy en la biblioteca todo el día, porque mañana martes tengo una prueba para la clase de español. Tengo unas preguntas para ustedes. ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita? ¿Cuántas clases tomas este semestre? ¿Dónde estudias normalmente? ¿Te gusta la clase de español? Hasta luego, amigos. In the last conversation, I used some of the grammar and vocabulary from this chapter. Please listen carefully to the conversation multiple times until you can hear most of the words. Today, I want to talk to you about verbs ser and estar and the conjugation of the verbs that end on "ar" in Spanish. So let's go and take a look at that part of the grammar. Okay, let's start with verbs ser and estar. In Spanish, we have two verbs with the meaning of the verb to be in English. Those verbs are ser and estar. Last chapter, you learned how to conjugate verbo ser. And in this chapter, you will learn how to conjugate verbo estar. Both are irregular verbs. So let's review verbo ser. Verbo ser, yo soy, tú eres, usted, él, ella es, nosotros o nosotras somos, vosotros o vosotras sois, ustedes, ellos o ellas son. Let's learn verbo estar. Yo estoy. Tú estás. Usted, él, ella está. Nosotros, nosotras estamos. Vosotros, vosotras estáis. Ustedes, ellos y ellas están. Both verbs mean I am, you are, he or she is, we are, you are more in the polite way for ustedes, and they are. But when do we use one or the other? Well, during this lesson you will learn more about their uses. So here is a summary of when to use ser or estar depending on what you want to say. Let's talk about the uses of estar. First one will be location. Estoy en casa. La librería está cerca de la biblioteca. The library is near to the bookstore. Marisa está al lado de Felipe. Marisa is next to Felipe. So that's for location. Also, there is another use that is position. You have learned about encima, debajo, so on top, below, near. That's for location, but also for position. For example, the book is on the table. El libro está encima de la mesa. So location and position, verbo estar. For health, verbo estar. Juan Carlos está enfermo today. Juan Carlos is sick today. For well-being, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Estoy muy bien, gracias. I'm very well, thank you. I can use it also to say I'm happy. Estoy contento, estoy contenta. Now, uses of ser. For identity. Hola, soy Maru. Hello, I am Maru. Occupation. Soy estudiante. I am a student. She is a teacher. Ella es una profesora. For origen. ¿Eres de México? Are you from Mexico? Sí, soy de México. Yes, I am from Mexico. I am from Spain. Yo soy de España. I am from LA. Soy de Los Ángeles. We use it also for telling the time. Son las 4. It is 4 o'clock. The class is at 9 in the morning. La clase es a las 9 de la mañana. We use it also for date. We don't have it here, but you learn this chapter, the days of the week. Today is Monday. Hoy es lunes. Mañana es martes. So those are some of the uses of ser and estar. We will learn more as we progress through the class. The next grammar concept that I would like to go over, it is the conjugation of the verbs that end in "ar". In Spanish, we have what we call regular verbs. All the verbs in Spanish are classified in 3 groups. The verbs that end on "ar", the verbs that end on "ir", and the verbs that end on "er". Let's see some examples. Estudiar, to study. Comer, to eat. Escribir, to write. So we're going to have those 3 groups. In this chapter, we are learning the verbs that end on "ar". For the regular verbs that end on "ar", the endings for each person have a different ending. So let's go over those endings. Yo estudio. Tú estudias. Usted, él o ella estudia. Nosotros estudiamos. Vosotros estudiáis. Ustedes o ellas estudian. So to use those endings on other verbs, what you need to do is to keep the root of the verb and drop the ending. So for this verb, you are dropping the ending "ar", keeping the root or the stem, and then adding those endings. Okay? So, for example, cantar. Yo canto. Cantar means to sing. Yo canto. Tú cantas. Él canta. Nosotros cantamos. Vosotros cantáis. Ellos cantan. So you need to memorize those endings. Okay? It is important to note that when 2 verbs are used together with no change of subject, the second verb is generally in the infinitive. Okay, for example, I want to speak with Mr. Díaz. Same in English. Infinitive. Deseo hablar con el señor Díaz. So we conjugate verbo desear. Yo deseo hablar con el señor Díaz. Now, to make a sentence negative in Spanish, the word no is placed before the conjugated verb, okay? In this case, no means not. Alicia no desea bailar ahora. So Alicia doesn't want to dance now. Okay? There are many verbs that end on R, so please review the vocabulary of the chapter to learn some of them. And this is all that I wanted to talk to you about the grammar of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Have a good day. Adios.